welcome back to my channel and my 80s series. Something a little bit different in today's video, but definitely something that more people can join in with. We're going to be using nail varnish on acrylic blanks to create some pretty cool 80s funky key rings. Now, I bought this neon nail gel polish kit from Amazon. I will of course link it below. It did come with 6 colours, but 2 of the colours really were not talking to me, and they definitely were not as neon as the bright orange, the yellow, the green and the pink, which I absolutely love, and they scream 80s a lot more. But also, you do not need resin for this video. This kind of creation could absolutely be done without the need for any resin at all. You could just use clear top coat nail varnish, and the beauty with that is you won't even need a mask, you won't like your respirator, you don't really need gloves, because we're talking nail varnish, the kind of nail varnish that you get done at the salon. Well, nobody in the salon is wearing gloves or a mask, so you know what I mean. It's a really, really cool, fun craft if you're not that into resin and you don't particularly want to buy UV resin just for the sake of it. Now, I have got some acrylic blanks. These were cut for me by Moray over at Lothian Woodworks a few years back. I don't know if he's still doing it. I will double check, but I will leave Moray's details below. And yeah, if he's not doing it, of course, I'm sure you can get acrylic blanks from Amazon, eBay, Shein, Temu, you name it, you can get it. Now, I don't usually have a play around with something before I film, but this was one time where I thought, do you know, I need to know if this is going to work. I need to have a play, see if it's going to work, see if it's something I know I'll enjoy doing. No point if it just does not work at all. And yeah, I had a play, loved it, thought it was very therapeutic and fun and just different, like not having to wear my respirator, not having to wear gloves for the most part. I was like, yes, let me film it, because this is so fun and it could relate to so many people who don't particularly, like I said, want to use resin. For starters here, I had a play around with just brushing the nail varnish on the acrylic blank, which you will see me do here in a minute. But actually for me, I felt like I was getting the boldest, most bestest. Guys, can't even got my words. I can't even got my words. What kind of sentence is that? Claire, go to bed. I preferred the results of dolloping it on. I preferred the results of pouring on quite a significant amount, so we've got these little mounds of colour, as opposed to brushing it on, which you will see me do here on the rectangle. I felt like it needed 2 coats for one, like, because when you brush it on, you're getting streaks, you're getting, it's not perfect. Do you know what I mean? You definitely need 2 coats. So that is where I preferred just allowing the nail varnish to fall off of the nail varnish brush to give me nice, big, juicy, fat droplets of nail varnish. It just gave me a much better result, and yeah, I just preferred it. But the beauty of this is that, you know, because they are on clear blank acrylic blanks, then your UV light can get through the top and the bottom, and you don't have to worry. You know that even though I've laid this nail varnish on quite thickly, it will cure because it's on a clear acrylic blank and the UV light can just penetrate both sides. Now, luckily for me, I do have the Let's Resin double-sided UV lamp, which means the light comes up from the bottom and down from the top. But you do not need this. You do not. You can just use a standard UV light, nail varnish lamp, whatever you have, and just flip your acrylic blanks upside down to make sure that the underbelly also gets cured. Now, I didn't really have a plan when it came to colour combination, honestly, but it's only now, in hindsight, you know, we all say it, I think I would not put pink and orange together. I like pink and orange together as a colour combo. I think they're really cool, funky colours, but in this case, it wasn't really for me. I feel like when it comes to the neons, that pink and yellow go really, really well together. Yellow and orange also go really well together. But pink and orange, yeah, I wasn't feeling the result, even though the end result's pretty cool and I love it and it's funky and it's bright and colourful and all of the things. The pink and the orange was, to me, a little bit, yeah, no. But also when I look at the colours of the nail varnish in this kit, the yellow and the pink definitely stand out to me as more neon than the orange. The orange to me looks just like a brighter shade of pumpkin orange, not so neon. Does that make sense? Am I making sense? I don't know. It's sunny today. My brain isn't here. I'm in another room. I don't know. Oh, if you guys do watch my home channel, if any of you are here from my home channel, or if you happen to watch my home channel and you saw the new chair that I got recently for the spare room, I'm sitting on that right now doing my voiceover because I was like, right, I'm making a pact with myself. I'm going to do my editing in this room. I'm going to sit in this room while I do the voiceover staring at the trees. That's probably why my voiceover is not making much sense today, because I'm staring at birds instead of the video. Oh, guys, silly. Anyway, right, let's talk about the finishes. So the rectangle acrylic blank was, as you know, brushed on. I used the brush to physically brush stripes and brush it, right? Whereas the two circles were dollops, big dollops, which of course is giving me a bumpy surface. Now, this is where your UV resin comes in really handy, because you can make that completely level surface and give it a gorgeous doming top coat. So at the moment, all I'm doing here is just using the orange, as you can see, just to cover up the rest of that acrylic blank. I don't want any blank spaces on this acrylic. I just want it completely covered, and whatever colours you use is entirely up to you. Now, the beauty of these, again, you don't have to use resin, like I've said multiple times. The beauty of these blanks is that at this stage, you really could go anywhere, do anything with it. It doesn't, you know, if you're not doing 80s, like, you know, temporary tattoos, UVDTFs, you've got washi tape, you've got just Cricut vinyl, like anything. Like, it doesn't have to be what I'm doing today, because I already thought, how beautiful would these be with that pink nail varnish on one side, and then like a temporary tattoo, like the black pen outline temporary tattoo of roses on the other side. Just gorgeous botanical floral vibes. You know, the possibilities truly are endless. But also, I was thinking, if you are a resin artist and you use epoxy resin and you've got a keyring mold, then you could just make your blanks. You don't need acrylic blanks for it, right? You could just pour some clear resin into your keyring mold and use that as your acrylic blank. So again, possibilities. Now, what I'm doing here is I am spraying the surfaces of the nail varnish with isopropyl alcohol, because if anyone has ever used gel nail polish, they stay sticky. They don't stay wet. They're fully cured, but they've got a sticky top coat, and then you have to wipe them over with your nail wipe solution, right? If you're getting your nails done in the salon, they do the same thing, right? They always wipe your nails down before they put the next varnish on. And I'm just doing the same. I was just taking away that tacky surface that was created by the nail varnish, and that is why you saw me spray them with alcohol. Once I'd done that, it was absolutely fine. Did I need to do that? I don't know, because obviously if you're putting a UV resin layer on, you're kind of going to seal in that sticky anyway. So I'm not sure it was fully necessary, but I decided to do it because they all were a little bit tacky and sticky. Now, again, the rectangular one has got a flat surface because I brushed on the nail varnish. The circles are, of course, lumpy bumpy, which is why the UV resin just brings them to perfection. Now, downside, guys, just don't be like me, okay? Watch my videos, but just don't do what I do, because I put way too much UV resin on there, and you can see it already sinking down into that hole at the top of the acrylic blank. That is the last thing I needed. Now, luckily, the other side of this acrylic blank has still got its protective layer on, so I wasn't too stressed about it. But it does mean that I have to turn this over now, cure the other side, and of course drill that hole back in because I've just filled it. The little UV lamp that you see me using here was the little UV lamp that came along with the kit, the jewellery making kit that you would have seen recently from Let's Resin. I never used that in the video because I just had the double-sided one and it was easier. But yeah, here we are. We have top coated all of the backs. Now the backs are all completely flat. Well, not flat, they're domed, but they're completely smooth. You won't be able to feel the lumpy bumpy nail varnish anymore. And then it was time to move on to the front. So taking off the protective layer, we've got that shine from the acrylic, which I absolutely love. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm over the moon deliriously obsessed with the colours or the way they've come out per se, but I did know that I was covering them up, which is which is fine, right? Because I already know I'm using something to cover these up. So even if you're not happy with the way your patterns or your blobs or your splodges or whatever came out, then slap something over the surface because it will all be all right in the end. Now, if you remember a couple videos back, I made these on the Cricut Design Space. It is a pattern that's on there. So if you type in 1980s patterns on the Cricut, you'll see this. And I cut it out in a multitude of colours. Unfortunately, this was the biggest, bulkiest one, which I think is a bit big for the size of the keyrings, but we're going with it, we're rolling with it. And this is what we're covering them in. So even though, again, I'm not happy with the layout of the colours behind, you just won't really notice it. You'll be too busy looking at the cool, funky pattern and the bright, gorgeous colours. And because this is such a chunky design that I've cut out on the Cricut Design Space, just using plain black vinyl, you don't really need to transfer it. Now, I'm transferring it because it is the pattern and it's just easier for me at this point to use transfer tape, transfer it over to the transfer tape and transfer it to the keyring. But because each of the elements of the pattern are genuinely quite chunky, you could equally just peel each and every shape off and stick it down by hand. You really could, but I figured, you know what, let's just transfer it. Sometimes transfer tape is not my friend, so sometimes it's just easier to peel and stick. And then just a quick trim around the edge to make sure that any of that vinyl does not hang off, and there you are. My main original plan for this Cricut vinyl was to do a really large neon tray, but actually, yeah, I just wasn't feeling the chunkiness of the pattern. You know, I just felt like it would be too much black and it would be dominating, which is why I did end up cutting it out in various other colours to use later on down the line. But I have just found the most unbelievably 80s vinyl, and I don't mean Cricut vinyl. I have found a company, it's not cheap, so I probably won't be buying any more, but I will link them. In the next video, they sell decorative vinyls. So the kind of vinyl that you would wrap your wardrobes in, or you would wrap a chest of drawers in. It is thick, like heavy duty decorative vinyl. And oh my gosh, guys, they have the most incredible 80s pattern on a vinyl, and I absolutely had to buy it. But I just bought like 2 of the sample sizes because my goodness me, yeah, as much as I would have loved to buy it on a roll, there's no way I could have afforded it. So I just bought 2 little A5 samples for the next video, which was also so fun to make. So yeah, if you're still loving the 80s, turn that notification bell on so you do not miss a beat. Back to the video, we're just coming to the end now. We're peeling off the vinyls, and honestly, this was fun. I could have made a lot more. I've got about 7 complete acrylic blanks left, but I just felt like 3 was enough. Like for one video, 3's enough. And also you can see there's the blank space, and this is what I was talking about earlier. Just peel off. Just peel off a bit of the vinyl and just stick it down by hand. You really do not need transfer tape when you've got chunky like this. You don't need to do it. But yeah, it was love. Just gonna speed this section up for you now. It's time to top coat. So again, I'm using UV resin. You could of course use your clear nail varnish, whatever floats your boat, whatever makes you happy. If you do not use resin, genuinely you don't need it. And you saw there, look, again, it went straight through the hole. So I actually quickly whipped it up off the surface and wiped the surface because I thought, no, that is gonna be absolute ache to get off the back. So I quickly cleaned it up. And I went a lot slower on this one, top coating, because again, I didn't want it going back down through that hole. But the other thing to mention is that if that does happen, just make sure you cure both sides so that the underbelly is no longer sticky either. And then just using your jewellery drill, just drill back through the hole to make sure that it's usable. I didn't really mention it in the video, but each time these went under the UV lamp, they went under for 5 minutes. Again, that was just me. That was optional. You could do it for 3 and it would probably be enough. So again, because I went over with the resin, I do need my drill. At this point, how you finish them is entirely up to you. You could go Pat Butcher. You could go full on Pat Butcher and have yourself some funky earrings, or you could use some neon rope, create necklaces, and or like I am going to do, put keyrings on 2 of them and create a neon rope necklace with the other one. This is just me using my jewellery drill to break through that spillage that I created. It's not the neatest job, but you know, it had to be done. Quite straightforward. You just have to go real slow. These jewellery drills do break, and actually this was before. This was my old jewellery drill, and this is probably why it broke. But anyway, I have a new one now, so it's all good. So 2 are going to get keyring attachments and 1 is going to get a rope. I had to show you these under the UV light because how cool is it? Did anyone go to a club when they were younger and it was all UV and you had to wear neons, and you knew that if you had anything neon, you would be glowing. You would be shining bright like a diamond. Yeah, I absolutely love these were fun to make. I definitely would do things differently if I were to do it again. I wouldn't mix the pink and the orange. I just think they're too similar, whereas there's a lot more contrast between the yellow, the pink, and the yellow and the orange. You know, the contrast is real, whereas that middle one, there's no contrast. Do you know what I'm saying? And also I would make my vinyl decals slightly thinner so they're not quite so dominating. And yeah, but this was definitely fun and definitely one for the non-resin artists. If you don't want to play with resin, then this is definitely for you. You can use nail varnish throughout the whole process. I hope you've enjoyed and feel inspired somewhere along in the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!